Welcome to Toffee TV. It is My Three Things, Manchester City 3, Everton 0. Today, Everton comfortably beaten by Manchester City. Men against boys, really. I said in my match reaction video, I think that was kind of what it was. They totally bossed it. They were in first or second gear. It was easy for them. We didn't really lay a glove on them. And it's disappointing, isn't it, as a fan, when you watch those games and you see that your team hasn't really got anything it can offer. You know, when we've had these games in the past against teams, not to the same level as what City have done, but you're always fearful that they'll do something and invariably they get a corner or something and score off it or put you under pressure. We didn't even do that to them. It was just very, very easy for them. And it was quite embarrassing, really. First thing I want to talk about is the recruitment at the football club. I've said it many times. But when you watch these games today, it really hits home. You know, we had a lot of money come into this football club, or we spent a lot of money in the last 5 years. We know that we have, you know, look at what we had to spend this summer, which was nothing. But we spent a lot of money assembling a squad. You know, 500 million, if it's around that figure, in 5 years, should get you a half-decent squad, really. You know, we've got our best players. One of them came through the ranks for £1 million. He's one of our best players, so, you know, and he scores the goals. And I know he's not available at the moment, but he's there. But we have wasted that money. And even in the last couple of years, when obviously the money's got a bit tighter because you haven't got the freedom, we still haven't gone and bought, you know, players who are going to come in and be good enough for the squad, but at a fraction of the price. We've still wasted it on too many players that just do nothing. I'll talk about one of them in a minute, but that's what the squad's littered with. There's some good players in the squad. There is, you know, your goalkeeper's decent. Luca Dean's a good player. Ben Godfrey looks like he's got the tools to be a really good player. Yerry Mina, when he's fit, is a good defender. The Core's sound. Alan, I think, with the Core's decent. Anthony Gordon's come through the ranks, is a decent squad player. Andros Townsend, Damari Gray have done well. Richarlison, good. Dom, good. But others, after that, others are just nowhere near good enough. Just not at the level. You know, and it's so frustrating and soul destroying almost that we've had that money. We haven't gone and collected players who we can develop, you know, but who've got the physical attributes to be able to cope. City's players technically far better than Everton's. City's players worked much harder than our players did. And they all look massively quicker. And yet, I know their team has cost a hell of a lot of money. We know that to assemble. Like, you know, we can't get away from that. But we should have been able to buy the right physicality in a player. Someone who's athletic. We've known we've needed this. Now, does our director of football, because he's bought players in Holland, not understand that this Premier League is all about that? You'd like to think he would after over 3 years being here. But the whole recruitment team, what are they saying to him? Ones who've been here before, why weren't they targeted when we allowed Koeman to build the slowest team ever? You know, it's just been mistake after mistake. And where we are right now is we've got a squad that isn't good enough. You know, not mentally, it's not good enough. And physically, it isn't good enough. You know, and Everton don't keep players fit. So you've got hardly any chance. Get everyone fit, yeah, they're a side that can do well or do all right. But we don't keep players fit. So the ones who come in are nowhere near good enough. And especially when you're having to replace 3 or 4 players with 3 or 4 players off our bench, it's just never going to work. And today just showed that they weren't even at their full strength. And yet we couldn't get near them. Really, really disappointing. Secondly, I'll just carry on with that point. I'm talking about buying players who don't really do much. And I don't like coming on here and personally digging players out. But just Alex Iwobi, I have to speak about him. He came on today after 15 minutes. He didn't, to me, look like he was raring to go when he come on. His hands were inside his shirt. He kind of jogged on. And it never gives me the impression that he's like, he really wants to do it for Everton. He wants to prove to everybody what a good player he is, and I'm going to make things happen. And don't get me wrong, he was by no means Everton's worst player on the pitch, but it's just, we've had too many of those kind of players that we've spent for our football club a decent amount of money on, paid them good wages, and they've not delivered. And it does go back into the first point, doesn't it, about the recruitment. And there's a few Alex Iwobi's in that squad, and it's not good enough. And until we can get players in who really are hungry, like Andros Townsend, that kind, want to come in only with more quality at a younger age, come in and make a difference, then we're probably going to see a lot more days like today. Because these players, once they go behind, even though today, it was rubbish, it wasn't very good, what I would say is they kind of stuck to the game plan. I don't think they didn't try, but it just seems like some of them just go through the motions, and I just don't think that's good enough for what we've had. And the third point, really, probably engulfs the first two on a day like today, is that what is the plan for Everton Football Club? What is it? This week we've seen the AGM be announced that it's going to be online for reasons that Everton say about attendance, and it was easy, it was great to handle and all that. I bet it was. But I think, like I've said all week, if they're going to do that, then they have to have all the board present. They have to take live questions as it happens, no pre-planned nonsense, and they have to deal with the criticism that's going to come their way, because nothing I've seen suggests our football club's being run correctly. And that's just, I haven't seen the books, and I don't know the ins and outs, but just from the outside looking in, nothing seems to be running like you'd expect the football club to be running at the moment at our club, and that to me worries me. So what is the plan? Is the plan to just survive in the Premier League? Is that the plan right now? Is it just to survive till we get to Bramley-Moore, and they think that Bramley-Moore will, like a magic wand, change everything for us? Is that the plan? Because whether you like Rafa Benitez or not, he got £1.5 million to spend in the summer on a squad that many were talking we needed 100 million spent on it, even when Ancelotti was here this summer, or 60, 70, 80 million. Rafa Benitez got 1.6 million quid. So I can't really lay the blame on him. I can't look at him and go, well, you've got really good footballers there and you're underperforming, because he's got ridiculous injuries. Maybe that's something to do with him, I don't know. But he's got injuries, and he's got hardly anything to choose from because of past mistakes. Where's the director of football in all of this? Where's his input? Where's the owner? The owner's being quiet. These are influential people in our football club, and you don't hear anything from them. What is the plan? Because I'm not convinced the plan is to turn Everton into a team that can challenge for the Champions League and the Premier League. And I know people might laugh and go, well, why should we be trying? Well, every team should be trying to win the Premier League. And if you've got ambition and money and a good plan, that's what you should be aiming towards. But none of it seems to fit for me. It just seems like right now we've lost our way. It feels like the owner's lost a little bit of love for it. I don't know whether he has, but it feels like that. Not heard anything from him. People at the club don't know how to communicate. The club doesn't communicate with anybody. It doesn't get narratives out. It allows narratives to be put out there by other people. The director of football is missing in action, despite signing a nice shiny new contract. So for me, there's lots of questions that need answering. And I hope, like I've just said, at this AGM, I hope there are live questions, because I'm sure there will be a few difficult questions, and I want to hear the answer. So Farhad Moshiri better be, we need him in attendance, because we need to hear what he's got to say, as well as the owner, because the football club aren't going to do anything about it. They wouldn't dream of communicating well and trying to get ahead of stuff like this. So that's it for today. I mean, agree, disagree. It's just how I feel today. Just, the game was the game, and City deserved to win, but we deserve better as fans, I think. There you go, that's it. Let me know what you think. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. See you later.